Hey, what is going on, you guys? Alejandro here, and welcome back to another episode of Magayon. In this episode, we're going to be building a brand new district in the city, but with a little bit of a twist. We're going to be building Tokyo Ginza's luxury shopping district in Magayon. So, if you want to see how I built this, keep on watching. Okay, so first we are building the main street. This is a fully pedestrian main street. Now, take inspiration from Ginza. If you're not familiar with Ginza, it's a shopping district in Japan, one of the bougiest districts in Japan. There's like only luxury brands, and we're first going to be building the main road that houses all of the luxury shops, but most of the shops are not only going to be here in this main road, but also on the inner roads. But the main road is, of course, where the biggest brands are. So first, I tried to place down the buildings, just putting down all possible buildings that I could place. And this is just a little bit of a trial and error. I was figuring out what type of buildings to place, which place to place them, and the heights of them, and just how it works. And it's quite of a messy part, so I'm not going to be explaining the decision, like what is happening on the screen, but rather how I guide myself to placing these buildings. Basically, in the bigger roads, similar to Japan, in larger roads, wider roads, actually, you can place taller buildings, but on narrower roads, you can only place shorter buildings. And also, the buildings here are a bit narrow because this place has super duper high prices. Like, the land value in this place is super high, like no joke. That's why you'd only see here like luxury brands and expensive, like even Apple is here. Like later on, you see the Apple store. We'll build that by the end. And yeah, I'm gonna be going to a live play later on so that I could explain this place in a little bit more detail. But basically, this main road right here is going to be the main road. It's going to be like the defining feature of this. It connects directly to the train station, so therefore it is a lot of foot traffic. That's why it's also super duper expensive. Now, there is a height limit restriction here. That's why it's not like super high buildings. And yeah, as I've said, zoning. I'll explain zoning later on. But yeah, we're moving quite fast in this episode because if I were to place the entire video like uncut, like raw footage, it would be 3 hours long, and sped up it would be at least an hour. The footage is actually like 8 hours long, but we just shorten it down so that it would be convenient for all of us. So yeah, the architecture in this place is a mix of recent architecture, like architecture from the 2000s, and architecture from the past. The other side of the river, if you've been following the series, this is Magdala. So this is one of the oldest districts in the city. And later on, you'd see me also start building Chinatown. So if you guys want to see a Chinatown episode, comment down below. But basically, along the river, it's one of the highest land values in the city. But you can't go too high. You can't build tall buildings because this is a heritage site and the buildings must be preserved. And also, there's a protected vista of the temple, which I'm going to be showing here. So no buildings should be taller than that building at the center. And later on, I will be explaining it a little bit more in detail. But now, here we are placing down 1920 style buildings that look similar in type, in architecture. And here is Chinatown. Now, Chinatown is directly perpendicular across the river from the temple, because the Lacandurians, you've been following the series, the Philippines have been colonized. Yeah, it's an alternate history because the Philippines has also the oldest Chinatown, Binondo, and I'm taking inspiration from that. I will be taking inspiration from that for Chinatown in the Chinatown episode, whenever that may be. Maybe during Chinese New Year. I think that would be a little bit more appropriate for that. But now I'm just filling in the gaps. It's basically this entire episode is just filling in the gaps and placing down detailings, because I reloaded the game. I just updated my laptop, by the way. There's been so many things going on, like college. It's been like super stressful. I've been trying to adapt, and thankfully we have a break right now, which means I can focus more on City Skylines, and I'm pushing episodes this October, November, and hopefully, and of course by December we're gonna have the Christmas break, so watch out for newer episodes at that. Now we're here at this corner. I might not have shown you what I placed here, but as you know, corner lots are like one of them have the highest foot traffic, but yeah, we still don't have a population, like people living on that side of the city. It's quite barren, so I think the next episodes will be filling up the gaps and building another district. But yeah, here we have restaurants, McDonald's over there, and Jollibee, of course, because this is a Philippines, take inspiration from the Philippines. I still want to incorporate like real life brands into the city, and since it's a luxury like district, you'd also have to have the brand. So you'd see in the cinematics like there's Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Dior, Prada, all that kind of stuff, Hermes, as you've just seen beside McDonald's. And a lot of things that I've been doing here in this episode is just me placing down buildings, moving them, because I'm a bit of a perfectionist. So it took me so long just to finish this, because I was building 4 districts at the same time. I was building Magdala, I was building the Chinatown, I was building another financial district, all at the same time while trying to finish this place up, which is basically my ADHD. But now we're building this little canal here, estero, but I call it a sapang because estero is Spanish and sapa is Filipino. So this is a sapang. It's like when you have a body of water, that is just prime real estate here in Magayon. That's why you see these buildings that they're very, very, if I can say, bougie. And I was getting tired of how the buildings were placed, like this weird angle right here. So I just basically destroyed the entire canal and redid it so that it would be a little bit easier for me to connect things. And by the way, sorry for the noise at the background. The chickens, I don't even know why they are crowing or cockle-doodle-doodling. I don't know what chickens make, what sound they make. They crow is for birds. But yeah, we have a bike lane going straight through the entire street. At the center, it's a wholly pedestrian, but as you can see, there might be cars, but later on I just turned them off because that's not how it's supposed to be. And this Magayon track or bike path will connect to the Magayon trail in the future, but thankfully people are still using it right now, and it's like the fastest way to go around the city. The city is very much bikeable as compared to real life Manila, where you can't really bike anywhere. Biking is often seen as a sport rather than a mode of transportation here, which should change in the future. But thankfully this pandemic, not thankfully for the pandemic, but thankfully, even though during this pandemic we actually saw the benefits of biking in the city, and Magayon is already ahead of that. It's a very bikeable city. But I'm also going to be placing down highways because I miss building roads, and we need a better highway network to go through the city, because there is literally no way to get across the city. You could have to like sit through traffic, but nobody actually drives here that much. There's a lot of public transport. And yeah, this corner lot right here, I place a different building there. I'm gonna be redoing a lot of buildings here, but hopefully you get the gist that this place has super high land value, and the only way to make for the landowners who built this, like developers, to make money is for them to go up. But sadly there's a limit on the height, so you have to have like expensive, like people who can actually pay to rent in this place. So that's why we have a lot of luxury brands here. And the Apple Store, as you've seen right there, it will be placed across this river, and it will have like a gorgeous park, because Apple stores have like, the newer Apple stores are like very beautiful right now. You can see what in Chicago, in Italy, and in other places. It's just gorgeous. Now I'm building this promenade, riverside walkways, because why not? Well, as I've said, rivers, a body of water, is already prime real estate in Magayon, because other than the coast, which is, oh, I just smelled the mic right there. Other than the coast, we only have the river and esteros as a body of water. And the coast is one of the oldest places in the city. Like, you can actually build tall buildings there because, as I've said, another protected vista. So people just have to maximize their space here inside of the city. And in the next episode, you're going to be seeing how far we are going to be developing the city. I'm going to already, you might have seen in the cinematics, the buildings that I've placed, or you might not. But basically, when I was building this, I actually plopped down a lot of skyscrapers across the city as a guide for what the next city centers would look like. So if you guys want to check that out, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell notification so you'd be notified whenever I upload a brand new episode. Now we are here at the detailing part, placing a lot of ads, billboards. I think I should have a better collection of billboards because they're basically the same size and they're a little bit out of date. We still have an Intel Core 8th generation, an iPhone XR, Samsung Galaxy S9. This was like from 3 years ago, I guess, or 4. And, but yeah, it sells the vibe. No, I'm not trying to make this a super high detailed place. Magayon is not all about the realism factor of like visually realistic. I just wanted to feel tangible. It's a place that you'd want to be in and you can relate to. So yeah, Magayon is my home, basically. I just want to build a place that I would want to live in. Okay, with that tangent done, this is Apple Park. No, it's an Apple Plaza. It's Pilak Plaza, Pilak Grand Plaza, because this place is named Pilak, by the way. If I have not explained the name of this place, oh my god, so dumb of me. Pilak is, okay, I'm taking inspiration from Ginza. Ginza is Japanese for silver guild, I guess, and they have the place where they make a lot of money. So I decided, why don't I just make it into the Filipino version of silver, which is Pilak. So I named this place Pilakan, which is silvered, I guess, an adjective. Just add an and it will become an adjective, I guess. And then yeah, this is Pilakan. That is the name of this district. It's across the Tuban Grand Central, which is a high-speed railway. So another reason why this place was like super bougie and they needed to develop this, it's because the high-speed rail pushed the development. Like if the train station didn't upgrade, this would be another empty plot in the city because nobody was actually using trains. Trains were not actually that active. They had a resurgence back in the 80s and 90s in Magayon. Yeah, I'm just finishing up the detailing here, placing down decals instead of networks because these are a little bit easier to control, and I don't want to reach the node limit too early because I still have a lot of plans for Magayon. So I hope Cities Skylines 2 would fix some of these issues and CPU issues and it being like a little bit bloated, I guess. But yeah, this is the roads. Now we're going to be doing the landscaping. Now the landscaping in this place is going to be just basic, adding in a lot of small little trees, nothing that heavy, nothing that detailed. I'm not going to be doing like smaller areas. I'm just placing down trees to sell the vibe. But yeah, there are a ton of trees here. Unlike like Japan, which has not that much trees in Ginza. They have trees along the road, but not as many as Magayon. Now, we have a lot of trees because this is 2030. It's very, very hot here, and you don't want this is in the tropical region, so you don't want to walk around the street with no shade because that would be just torture. It would be super hot, and that's why another reason a body of water and trees and the shade, the buildings, the body of water and the trees, the temperature here is actually cooler. And later on you'd see another way this place is cooling down. Not only are the buildings to water the trees, but also the colors of the buildings. As you see, they're very light, except the buildings that are glass. As you see, those are black. They absorb a lot of heat and radiate them at night. But the city is trying to minimize that for future buildings. So you'd see future buildings being lighter in later episodes. Now here we have lily pads. Yes, lily pads. And this is to sell the vibe of realism. And also because in the Philippines, we also have a lot of like these floating things. I think it's Kayapo, or the Indian name for these things, Kayapo, which is also the name of a city or a town. A place in the capital city of Manila, like Quiapo, Manila, that has a church, Nazareth, and all that kind of stuff. So we have this Kayapo going around the esteros, the rivers, the small rivers. And I also am going to be building a district like that. And yeah, this is Apple Pilakan Plaza. detailing a little bit. I'm adding a little bit of shrubbery to it so that it would be a little bit more detailed, making it look more bougie than it already is, and adding a little bit more trees and adding a tropicality to it, like adding palm trees to sell the vibe. This is actually a shopping district that is super bougie. And also, I might have not said fountains there at the side. These new fountains are amazing. They just add, like, in the game these rivers seem to move, but in real life they don't. So imagines that those small rivers are not actually moving, those canals. And here is a little bit of a park. I am not going to be detailing this anymore because I have the intentions to. I'm very poor at landscaping. That is what I need to improve on. And maybe another like series or something, I would be focusing more on that. But yeah, just keeping it natural and organic in growth is quite nice. The city is not like too planned. It's a mix of perfectly planned and just letting it be free and wild as it is. You know, just placing down trees here and there. And now we're going to be placing down the green roofs. Now, all the newer buildings in the city are required to have at least a certain amount of percentage of it to be green to offset the amount of space it took and to increase the amount of greenery in the city. But older buildings sadly cannot be renovated to that extent, so they just added green roofs, and that's what we got. Now it's nighttime, which is a perfect segue because we're going to be moving to the live play after this. I'm just basically placing down lights because I decided not to use the lights that they have on this road and to have a finer control over what I would be placing here. Because if I just use the natural or the default street lights for this place, it wouldn't look as good as me placing them by myself. And here the Sapang, to add a little bit more bougie element to it, because in the Philippines we have this place called McKinley Hill, like the Venice in the Philippines, and it has like this artificial river or canal in it, and it looks gorgeous, and I wanted to add that factor into it. So yeah, I'm just adding in these lights. Now these lights in the assets that I have are like individual lights. In real life this would be like just one huge LED strip or LED strips placed together, because if this is what you use in real life, this would be quite demanding for electricity. So this is not, just imagine that those are LED lights, because LED is very energy saving, and you know, we're living in the future, so might as well. Anyways, that is all that I have. I will be going into more detail once we go into the live play. You would see that there's a difference as well in the color temperatures. The newer districts are white light, and the warmer yellow tungsten kind of light is for older districts. Yeah, that is all I have for the time lapse. Let's go to the live play. And welcome to the live play. Now, I'm starting off not at where we were starting building, rather where the city started, like the history of it, like the core, the beginning of the city with the lore, the walled city, the forbidden city of Magayon. Now, that is the temple. As you can see, sorry for the frame rate, as you can see, this is still incomplete. We still have to build it up. The temple is at the center. On the left and the right is the royal palaces, but I just wanted to show why you can't go too high on that place we were building. So looking at here from the ground, you can see that the building is at the center. You can't build anything taller than that building, because that building, the temple, is protected. So looking at from this angle, you can see that the building is dead center. It's really important. And behind it, you can see that the buildings are not that tall, and you're not allowed to build buildings any taller than that. So we have taller buildings on the right, and that can go continuously. It can go as high as you can, but there's a limit because the scaling. And there's a gap right there. As you can see, we have another group of buildings there, taller buildings there, an entire district there, an entire building there, and another whole entire city there. But those are just placeholders for what we're going to be building in the future. So if you guys want to check them out, consider subscribing and hit that bell notification so you'd be notified whenever I upload a brand new episode. Now, the frame rate, by the way, is quite low. That's because I'm on the highest settings and I do not have the best computer. I'm using a laptop, which, Anyways, now getting back, we're going to do a little bit of a flyby so that we're going to be going to Ginza. So yeah, here is Ginza. Welcome to Ginza. Welcome to the Silver City, the most luxurious district in Magayon. It only has luxury brands and, it's the bougiest place in the city. Like if you want to go shopping, if you have like 6 figures, like for a day, you can go here and spend your money. But if you're not, this is an amazing place to hang out, and we have restaurants and all that kind of stuff. And as you can see, like it's gorgeous. There are shaded trees. It's the beautiful trees, tree-lined street going straight through the station. Now we have a lot of other amenities here other than the luxury brands, but mostly it's just for the views, for the aesthetics. If you're really gonna eat, if you're gonna shop, don't go here. This is just like a pass through. That's why we have a very broad road here, and that's why we have also a lot of attractions. This is basically a tourist trap. But look at that view though. Look at that. Great. That is just gorgeous. Sometimes I even think that, I'd love to live in Magayon because that's essentially how I build this place. Like whenever I build here, I think, what would I want in that place? And there's an entire lore behind this. So it kind of gives me like a mall vibes, kind of Los Angeles, bougie, Dubai kind of type. Kind of like a mall, but it's not inside, kind of outside. But it's still kind of a private development. But yeah, we have stores like Lego, Lexus, a car, and Leica. I think this is a phone brand. And we have Burberry right there, and we have this office building right here, Delta on the advertisement. And yeah, I don't know why, but we have Uniqlo right here. You can actually, it's not that expensive, but it's still expensive because we're poor. We have Dior, Louis Vuitton, Louis Prada Gucci. No, we can't actually sing Louis Prada Gucci because Gucci is not there. Oh, here's Gucci, by the way. So behind me, that's Gucci. This is and then we got the Apple Store. As you can see, it's quite gorgeous. But why do we have oranges? This is an Apple Store. But yeah, we still have iMacs. These are the older models, by the way, because this is an old asset. We also have the MacBooks here. We have the MacBooks, the iPads, and the iPhones. What iPhones are these? These are the iPhone 10s, as you can see, because they have notch. So yeah, let's go here to the side. Behind the Apple Store, we have, no, don't look at that. That's a trash. This is still unbuilt. We still have to finish this. But yeah, oh, look at this building. Look at this place. A lot of people are actually walking here, which is great. Those buildings actually are residential space. Those are luxury residential space, and those are expensive. Like this place is so small, and they decided to build a building here. Like only the rich people can afford to live here. But this building is literally super expensive, also because of the location. Like you're only one elevator away to go to the train station and to the Apple Store and to luxury brands and but yeah. But these buildings are a tad bit older, but the views here are gorgeous. As you can see, Magayon looks beautiful. But yeah, it's still incomplete. Just imagine that we have like more buildings here. You can see the bay, you can see the tower, you can see the temple, and you can even see the tip of the Capitol building. And that's Makati over there. Hi Makati. Itchy Makati. Anyways, let's get down. This is my first time literally walking through the city on high settings because I was playing on medium, and it really looks and feels like Japan. Just because I'm using Japanese assets. Just kidding, because it's how we use the buildings, how we plan. We're following similar aesthetics to Japan. That's basically what my inspiration is. But yeah, I think I need to take a picture right now because this angle is just gorgeous for Instagram, because this is quite important. Hello? Hello, sir. Sir, can you please move? Can you please move? Okay, hello. Okay, bye bye. Okay, thank you. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Why did I suddenly become like Cinderella? Anyways, let's take the screenshot. Yes, gorgeous. Look at those buildings. I need to take control. I need to take control of myself. I get distracted all the time. But yeah, let's get back to where we are. This is like a cute little walkway beside the river. Look at that. I'm walking. It's very gorgeous. You can even like stand here and admire the view of Pilak. Like, look how cozy it is. Like the fountain, like the water brushing up your face. You know, it's so fresh because it cools down the place. As I've said, like the water, the trees. We have also here on the sign this building right here. This is Hotel Bristol. I guess it's quite an older building, but wait. I really do need to take a screenshot here because look at that. Look at that. Don't you see how beautiful that is? Shelf 12. Perfect. Anyways, let's get back. This is the very old building. We have here another estero. Now we can actually use estero like as for transportation because the bridges don't use, but a long time ago this used to be the main mode of transportation, hence that's why there's a little bit of older buildings here. But now people are not using this that much often because people are using cars and public transport. But yeah, we have another fountain right here. There's also another beautiful angle, by the way. Like this city has a lot of beautiful angles. Now we don't have that many tall buildings. Those are the only exception right there. But this one is one of the oldest buildings in the city. I'm giving it kind of a lore like the hotel in New York at a corner. I forgot what that was, but that's where like like famous musicians would stay, and like this has a lot of history to it, and then expanded like at the back. Just kidding, those are offices. And we have here another office like broadcasting center, like older buildings. We're actually now in Magdala, which is the oldest district in the city after Chinatown, and of course after the walled city. Everything outside the walled city is younger than the walled city itself. But yeah, we have an Apple store here again, but I think that's kind of redundant because we already have an Apple store in Pilak, and this place is quite old, so this was already rich way before Apple was here, so I don't think really does make sense for Apple to have a store here. But yeah, we have this long curving building here at the side. It's kind of gorgeous, but you know, if you guys want any suggestions or if you guys want to be named after a building, give it a history, like fight for it, like give it some substance, and I might just consider it. So yeah, this is a cute little park inside of Magdala. I think it's Magdala Plaza or something, but the buildings that I'm using here are just the vanilla ones. I mean, from the CCP, Content Creator Packs, CCP, Culture Southern Philippines, CCP, Communist Chinese Party or something. Anyways, Chinese Communist Party, by the way. Anyways, look at those buildings. I get distracted easily. Anyways, this is gorgeous. Look at the skyline. Anyways, this is like, you know, I get easily distracted, but look at the skyline here. Oh, wait. This is just, oh my god. Oh, look at that. If you're like, okay, imagine you're sitting here and you're like, oh my gosh, what's the time? What is the time? Where is the train going to arrive? Like, and you're gonna look at the clock right there, like, okay, 6:59. I can't see what time is it. I can't see. I'm blind. Anyways, so yeah, you just use your watch. It's like it should be visible like in real life, but you can't see it right now because yeah, this is the gate, the Chinatown gate, but this is newer because we have a much older one because, right, you know, the road expanded and this was the first road we actually had. This one, this is the Chinatown gate, the old one. This goes directly into the walled city rather than the other one. The other one is the newer one, and it's supposed to be the one that's connected to a circumferential road so that people driving through this place would know that there is a Chinatown here, and this is essentially also kind of a Chinatown. As you can see, it's placed directly in front of the temple. It's in Lacandura. This is Lacandura Drive. As you can see, it's quite gorgeous. And we're actually now in Chinatown. Now, it's still like has to be finished, but this is Chinatown. But there's a Japanese building, right? Kolon. Anyways, this is one of the most iconic streets in the city. This is Magdala Avenue, as you can see. Why didn't I just... This has suddenly become like city tour part 3, but you know, I'm still going to be uploading. If you guys still want a part 3 on the city tour, like this is what I'm going to be talking about basically, or maybe the Olympic one, or maybe the one on the outskirts. But yeah, don't look at that never happened, that never existed. Anyways, let's get back to Pilakan because I get distracted easily once again. Anyways, we have a lot of greenery here. We have green roofs because, you know, ecology, environment. And we have Prada in the inner corners. We have like low detailed buildings. I just placed like buildings there so that it would be filled. But this building right here is kind of cute. It's like a kind of looks like a tree, and it has grass on top. It has shrubs on top. And here we have this Times Square kind of thing. Like we have McDonald's, and we have Jollibee. And we have like ads here on the side. But I think I'm going to lessen some of the trees because they're kind of covering the sign. Or I'm just going to be placing a sign like huge Jollibee. We have Salvatore Fragrance. And oh, that is Chanel. And we also have Giorgio Armani there on the side. Like these are basically Ginza assets. But yeah, very gorgeous. Look at this view. Now this view is gorgeous. Another beautiful view. If you're like at the train station, which we are at now, this is the Pilakan, the main street of Pilakan. This train station is connected directly to that street. This is a huge bypass. It's a fully pedestrian street, so you won't have to worry about cars. And around the city, you don't actually have to worry about cars because cars are not the main mode of transportation. It's your feet. But yeah, we have this like older buildings here, like Tutuban Grand Central Station, and we have taller buildings on the sides, and those are like older buildings. Those are like the maintenance buildings and malls. And this is a circumferential road. As you can see, this has a lot more taller buildings, and this is like the building that connects all the different cities in the city, all the different cities, because it's like Japan. You know, Japan is not one single Tokyo. It's not one single city. It's like they have different wards, and that's what I'm trying to emulate here. Yeah, from the ground, this looks gorgeous. And here along the river, it's mostly residential, luxury residential, because this is like private residences, like not like the public housing that we have like there on the back. This is like only for the rich people or those who want to afford or can pay the high price. But here we have a massive office building. Like it's a huge office building. It's like together. Like a lot of buildings here are like grouped together. But yeah, I don't know. That's a train station. That is from Faid. It's a Jakartan asset. It's actually old Betong State Hall, or it's like a city hall from Indonesia. Yeah, I retrofitted it to become Magayon. So you can see this place is gorgeous. The traffic here is a little bit there's some traffic, but it's not much traffic because, as I've said, we still don't have that big of a population. It's still very empty here, as you can see. It's all just green, it's all just grass. I still have to fill them up. I think in the next episode, I'm going to start fixing this up, but I'm not going to be setting things in concrete. I'm thinking of building a little bit more Japanese type here, but we'll see. So I guess I have to leave the episode at that. I think I've kind of explained the entire thing already, like very clearly and more. Like I did a kind of a city tour. But yeah, this is the episode. I built Pilakan, a luxury shopping district in Magayon. And if you guys want to pay a visit here, consider becoming a Patreon. That's patreon.com/Alejandro, and get exclusive access, early content, and so much more. Early access and exclusive content like the city, a cinematic of this city, the thing we've built, a night cinematic like the drone shots that we see on YouTube, and even the save game of the map, everything of the latest episode of Magayon, depending on what tier you are on Patreon. And I just want to use this time to shout out Jason Deep for supporting this channel and helping this channel out, like on Patreon. And if you guys can't support me on Patreon, that is still okay. You can, of course, leave a like, comment down below what you want to see next, and of course, don't forget to subscribe. This is Alejandro signing off. Bye!